Welcome back. It's Wednesday, February 22nd. I have this whole week off. Monday I was still with family, and yesterday was a bunch of appointments and running around, and I'm purchasing this load yesterday. That's about $3,600 here in Canada. That sucked. So we're gonna get that load up today, and then 2 days worth of hauling more of my 1-inch boards, and then I'll have to run back and get another load of purchased lumber, not quite as big, and that should finish up the year, other than like sono tubes and cement. And I want to get a wheelbarrow and stuff like that up there, and tools. So as long as the snow won't let me do it, I'll keep hauling stuff up there. There's lots to get up there, but we're getting the essential stuff in that I can get started at this spring. Anyway, stick with me. We'll get through today. It should be about 3 loads to get in. We're minus 10 Celsius at the house here. It's a little colder up north, and we're expecting some winter weather these next 4 or 5 days. Actually, the 14 days showing quite a bit of snow, which is good. So hopefully I can groom every day at the end of the day and get that trail level. So here's the first load all loaded up. As you can see, I'm still dealing with some mud. There's 5 spots. I haven't shoveled any snow in that one, but there's 4 other spots I have, but the water's still running enough to stay ahead of me. So we're supposed to get 20 centimeters of snow tonight. I sure hope it comes. I hope we get some before I get out of here so I can pack some of it. There's the first load, 18 2x12s, 4 skids, and a bunch of blocks. This will be the heaviest one. Hasn't been easy coming in. I'm stuck right now. One of the spots up here that I shoveled in, I didn't get to drive across it because I drove across first and realized how square the edge of the ice was, and then it'd be brutal. But yeah, this will turn the mush, so each load I'm gonna just keep shoveling snow on it. It is minus 10 today, and I hope it can, I don't know, coagulate. It's a good, the right term, but I'm hoping the slush stiffens up. The water soaks into the snow and starts freezing. So there's still 4 spots that there's a chance I get stuck every load in. This was one of them, and it got me. So we're gonna winch up onto the plateau, which takes a little bit of time. Bear with me, and we'll try to get this first load in. Here's my anchor tree, the winch. So I've just been using it as an infinite adjustable hold strap. So I winched for a while, wasn't really working that well. So now I've just been holding the toboggan, and I unhooked the sled, put Clovis through there, and I got my stretchy rope here. So I've been able to gain like 4 feet every slingshot. I should get it here this time. So then I just go as far as I can until I spawn out with the Skandic, put the parking brake on, take the weight of the toboggan with the winch, back up the Skandic, and try again with another shot. And I'd put pretty good tension on that to help get going, and maybe even move the load 4 inches with the winch. It's just pretty slow winching. So we'll see if I can get this one-handed. There we go. We're on the flat now, so we'll hook back up. And on 2 or 3 more tricky spots. It was a bit of driver error coming up the hill. I stopped on purpose just because the sled wouldn't turn as soon as you get the sled off the beaten path. So I just wanted to come here. And if the track went off there, then I was going to wreck the trail and have the sled stuck. So time consuming, these stucks, but we got through it. Just a couple more each load and we'll be in. We have not made it very far. So we got a little snatch block redirect here. I'm gonna give it a go. It's 60 yards up this hill. I'm gonna try winching the whole way. If that's gonna take too long, then I'm gonna have to offload half the weight. It's a waste of energy offloading. I know winching's slow, but it might not even work with half the weight because the conditions it's very sugary right now, and it's just ice underneath. I'm unstudded. So instead of offloading, restrapping, making 2 loads out of this, I'm gonna just dig deep here and winch away and try to get it 60 yards, 30 feet at a time. Here we go. So this is still the first load, and it's 3:30 p.m. It was almost a waste of time even trying to halt today with the conditions. As you can see, I've spun out here with the pile of snow. I'm way up on the flat. I had just finished snatch blocking my rear end around the tree, and I just winched about 70 yards all the way up the hill. Been at this in this spot for nearly 3 hours. So I don't know what it's going to take to get going because I just went through the water. I've got a big ice block froze under there and all the additional weight. I'm thinking about abandoning this load and dealing with it tomorrow and just grooming in and out once. Supposed to have 20 centimeters of snow tonight into tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to start. Anyway, if I can get going, I'll do one more last try to go, but chances are I'm going to get stuck at one of the other spots. And I can get around it right now with the groomer, so maybe we'll try pulling it ahead just a little bit. It's 4 p.m. and I still haven't made it in with the first load. We got to rethink this. Either I'm going to have to do half loads. I need more snow. Conditions, I can't tow anything. I've tried, I was spinning just the snowmobile, getting up hills and stuff. So anyway, I'm tired. I'm gonna unhook, abandon this load here. I'm gonna have to trailer back the other remaining boards and bring them back up tomorrow. Try again. I am gonna go in and hook onto the groomer and drag it out to the clearing and leave it there for the night. Because I want to drag it back in before I get going again, especially if we get 20 centimeters of snow. Is that 8 inches, something like that? Yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be 4 very productive days. Day 1, not productive. Anyway, see you again tomorrow. So we hooked onto the groomer, got past our abandoned load, and just groomed all the way out this trail and then onto the forest access road. It's pretty hard and sugary and there's not a lot of snow. Like I said, I don't have the blades that actually engage in the snow on this yet. So unless you have fresh stuff, it doesn't really plane anything. It just rides on top like a metal sleigh. But if you went off to the side of the trail and picked up some fresh stuff, it would deposit it in there. Anyway, it smoothed it out a little bit, and hopefully we get this 20 centimeters and I can pack it down tomorrow and then groom it. But I'm just going to shovel the weight off of that so it doesn't freeze solid. And I parked strategically on a divot here, so there is a big air gap under the plate so it doesn't freeze down. I don't have to worry about tipping it up. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Welcome back to a new day. A little more rested than yesterday. Had an earlier start, and we got, it's hard to tell because it's so windy and it was blowing, but I think we got fresh 2 inches of snow. Minus 11 this morning, feeling like minus 24. So you can see, I've already hooked onto the groomer and dragged it most of the way in. And this is where my stucks started yesterday. So I'm just gonna shovel some snow on one of these, this mud crossing here, right behind me. It doesn't look, there's a layer of ice and a skiff of snow. I just want some depth to it. Before I drag over top of it, I'd like to hide the mud all day, keep the slush out of the skid. I've already crossed 2, and they had enough snow on them that they packed down nice with the groomer, but this one looks a little sketchy, so we're gonna shovel that in and get that first load in from yesterday and the trail groomed out, and then the remaining boards, was that 27 boards? 37 boards in, and hopefully we get that in today, and the trail groomed on the way out. So we just pulled past the load from yesterday. Game plan. I think I'm gonna offload the whole thing and get the carry on to the top of the hill and carry 18 boards one at a time to the top. I'm probably gonna leave the skids and these little boards here, just here on the hill. They don't weigh much, so I think I can stop with either the Pelican or I'm gonna strap them on the groomer, I'm not sure yet, and get those in that way. And we're gonna hopefully pull this and restack it off to the side of the trail so we can carry on with the groomer, which is right there on a plateau. So it was easy towing in. So it's doing a pretty good job. It would have been nice to have a little bit more snow, but we are supposed to get more today, tomorrow. Well, the next 14 days, you're getting an inch or 2 every other day, so that's good for getting the trail in good shape. It'll be just perfect by the time I'm done hauling. So we're gonna pull this, we'll leave the sled right there. Just throw that stuff off to the side and drag the carry-on up. Well, they're empty, and at the top, I tried it with 8 boards still on it out of the 18, nothing. I tried the empty toboggans, couldn't move, so I had to tip them up and get about 4 inches of frozen snow and ice off the toboggans before I got going. So I'm gonna fix up this hill a little bit. This off camber section here is kicking my butt coming up. It throws me tight to that clump of trees right in the middle of the frame. So I'm gonna try to square this up a little bit, and then all the ice blocks that I left on the trail down there I'll have to get off. So we made it to the top with the groomer and the skids and the little boards. The skids slid off the side a little bit and caught a tree coming up and snapped my strap. So I tied a knot in that. So I'm gonna push forward and set up the base for these pressure treated boards. And I think I'm gonna leave those ones on the hill, turn these around and get the ones off the trail, or at least in a ways, even if it's a battle, to just so I'm not trucking back and forth the same lumber. It's snowing pretty good now. I'm supposed to do this all day. So if I can get this trail groomed now, and like I did, like it's starting to shape up pretty good. And if we can get another couple inches while I'm in here and groom again at the end of the day, the trail should be in pretty good shape for the rest of the hauling. Anyway, we're gonna unstrap this and go down onto the plateau, because these beams, or these boards, are making my beams. They're the first ingredient. They're going right tight to the build site, but I want them out of the way at the same time without them falling down the hill as well. I might actually try to shovel something right there, and then it's just 20 feet down to the build site. I spent the last hour digging that out. It's probably 5-6 feet wide, 17 feet long. There's all those trees and stuff in there, so that was a bit annoying. Had to bust out the little 6-inch Milwaukee. Anyway, because of the irregular terrain, I think I'm gonna stack the skids like this and then put the boards on end, stack leaning against that birch or a beech tree. Anyway, groomer's at the turnaround. We're gonna make our way out to the carry-on, spin them around by hand, hook them onto the sled, and go get pressure treated lumber off the trailer. So I tried 18 boards because that's what would fit width-wise. I'm gonna split what's left on the trailer, and so that'll be like 12 boards a load. One will have 13, but we're gonna try that. see if we can get all the way in with 3 loads, and then depending on time, we're just going to pick away at getting those 18 off the hillside and try to get them in here. And I brought tarps today to cover this stuff when I get it in here, because you can see we're still snowing here. It's a beautiful sight. We got 12 2x12 16 feet long in. I made it in, no stucks, and 3 of the hills were pretty sketchy, so this will be the heaviest of the 3 loads. There's only 5 2x12s left for the second load, and then they're 2x10s, so they'll be a little lighter. And then the final load will all be 2x10s, and I'll do 13 on that because there's 12 here. I'll do 12 on the next one, and then I'll throw the extra board on the last load because it's all 2x10s. So because I don't have many stickers, just those 2x4s I brought, I'm gonna try to pile these on end. I don't know how this is gonna go. I was gonna put it tight so it lean against that tree maybe. I gotta get the skid over. I think once they all get against each other, they'll stay. Anyway, we're gonna get this unloaded, get those other 2 loads, get them all stacked here. Then I got 18 that are halfway up a hill. Depending on time, we're gonna try to get those in. And I wanna groom before I leave. This snow helped out a lot. The trail's in much better shape. There's still 4 mud crossings though. I keep shoveling snow in, but the water's still running, so I need to put a skid at all of those, really. Anyway, we'll get to it. So this is the last of the 37 boards that were on the trailer still. 3 loads. So I did 12, 12, and 13. And the bottom course, I used one of my ratchet straps to bind them together so that it can't tip over. Then just use some of these stubby 2x4s as like stickers, just to give some airflow between the stacks. In the past couple weeks of hauling, I've wrecked 2 ratchet straps. So one of them I had to tie a knot in them for today, and then the other one, the buckle got all tweaked sideways. So 2 of those are staying here, and then either I'll sacrifice another one, or I have some rope that's just underneath the tarp, which I don't feel like digging out. So we got to get these unloaded, and then 18 left on the hill. I think the plan is I'm going to leave these the carry-on toboggan sitting at the top of the hill. Use the sled to drag them up just on the snow, maybe in pairs with a strap. And then I'll bring it in 2 loads so there's no more issues. So I'll just do 9 and 9. It's not too far from here where the boards are, so I'll just play it safe and do half loads. The only issue so far hauling in, aside from the hills, are a bit of a rodeo. The one steep hill on the second load, I did tip the Skandic on its side, but managed to leave it all hooked up and strongmanned it back over, and it proceeded up the hill with the load on. So there was only a couple minute delay. Other than that, these 3 loads have been on about an hour and a half cycle to get these in here. So that's 4.5 hours once I actually got to hauling, but there's some grooming and getting the skids and all that down today, so time consuming. Anyway, gonna get this offloaded, get those other 18 boards in. So we're at the top of the hill. We just got the clevis snapped in the J hook with the spring, and then we're just got a loop over the boards. Empty carry-on. Probably gonna do them in pairs, so I'll do 10 this load. There's one that just fell out, but it's not far to walk. A lot better than way down at the bottom of the hill. So we'll do 10 on this first load. Get them in there. Well, that's the last of them off the hill. I wish I knew 3 came up the hill. Not too bad a little earlier. I only saved myself 1 trip, but could have saved myself a couple more. Anyway, strap them on there, get them in, get them tarped up. We're almost like a sleet now. It's been snowing on me all day, but now it's you can hear it on the beech tree leaves. It's gonna wrap up today. It's 5 p.m. now. I got the groomer hooked on the Skandic. Everything's packed up. I'm gonna groom on my way out and then back in a partial way where it's a good spot to unhook this. And then tomorrow when I come in with some more boards, I'll drag it in when I come in empty to get the carry-on toboggans. Both of them are leaning against a tree right now. We got 55 pressure treated 2x10s, 2x12, 16 feet long in. Got them tarped, and I got my 3 4x4s that were just out there uncovered under there as well. It was a long day, but we were making progress the whole time, unlike yesterday. I put in nearly the same amount of time and didn't get anything done really, other than the trail groomed a little bit, but the snow helped a ton. Anyway, we'll get out of here. You'll see me back tomorrow. I think I'm gonna, judging by how I was going today, I think I'm gonna do 3 loads of 1-inch boards, and I'm gonna aim for 18 a load instead of filling the full width. That weight that I was doing today seemed to be pretty good, so I'd rather be making progress instead of winching. So smaller loads, and we'll get this done. Well, this is the Friday of my week off. As you can see, I'm still at the house, just loading up the boards here now. We had tractor issues this morning, and it took me till lunchtime to get it going and to clear the snow to get the truck back here at the pile. Anyway, we just got the load filled up, so we'll strap it down and head up tomorrow, Saturday. That's 3 loads worth. I got the balaclava on because I got all wind burnt yesterday in the face, and it's windy here today. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. So we're on our way back in. Minus 17 Celsius, feels like minus 24. We got a light snow right now. This is Saturday, and stumbled upon kill site. Looks like a grouse or something. Nothing left of it. So it's 9 a.m. February 25th. We had an early start. We're doing well. So I towed in the groomer. This setup's gonna work a little bit better. So I started around my turnaround and then unhooked before this off-camber hill. I can't really make the corner with weight. So then I just dragged it down by hand in the middle, and it's out of the way for towing it out at the end of the day. And then I just had first carry-on toboggan hooked over there, or leaned against a tree, and the other one's through the trees there. Go hook onto that, and then let's go get the first load. I'm gonna be risky and try doing it in 2 loads. When I was loading up these boards, they're quite a bit lighter than the pressure treated, and they're not as wide. They're like, I don't have anything that's 12 inches wide. Some of them are only 4 inches, so I think I can go the full width and some shorter ones strapped on top with some stickers. So let's do this in 2 loads, and I can get out of here and load up again for tomorrow in good time in the daylight, and then we'll do it again tomorrow. Load number 1. Still a bit of a rodeo ride up the hills on the way in, but we made it. If we can do that with the second load, we'll be back at the house in good time to get loaded up for tomorrow. there's load 2. Uneventful, everything went as planned, so we'll get this stacked up. That's how a day's supposed to go. Productive the whole time. We'll get out of here in good time and load just as many or more for tomorrow and repeat. Sunday, February 26th. This finishes my week holidays in hauling. Oh, looks like we might have lost a few stickers on the trail. Find those on the next load in. So today we got 2 loads, this one and then an identical one. We're dealing with -4 Celsius today. It was snowing like crazy this morning, real fluffy stuff, but it seemed to have stopped and we can see the sun a bit, blue skies, but very windy, very windy. I'm sure you can hear it. Yeah, we'll get this load in, stacked here, next one stacked, and that'll finish off this video for you. Well, that there is the end of the second load for the Sunday. We got 28 rows high of boards, so must have 56 inches high that stack is. They're 1-inch thick stickers as well. And then all the shorter boards, I just made a bit of a teepee. So the first layer is going this way, and then you can see the ones going the other way, and then I had enough to go back vertical again, and that was just to give me a little cove to stack some purchase boards that are coming up next weekend. We're supposed to get a bunch of snow all this week, and I didn't want to shovel out again, and these boards are sort of just cut-offs and extras from the mill. Still useful, but they're not allocated to any task yet. Thanks again for watching Against the Green Living. This wraps up a week working up here. Not as productive as I would have liked, but we're getting material up here. I have one more load of boards that are at my house from the mill. Then I'm purchasing another load, and then just keep hauling odds and ends up here. There's lots of stuff. There's roofing material, all sorts of stuff that can come. I'd like to haul any of the long material in the wintertime. That's when the trail's in its best shape. Anyway, see you next time.